So for today's quote, very simple. It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men, by Frederick Douglass. And yeah, this is I actually wanted to talk about this today because I've recently been thinking about how childhood affects a lot of people, including me, of course. How the things we experienced in childhood kind of shaped the way we would become as adults. Some of these things we might be aware of, but then a lot of other things, right? They're unconscious or subconscious. We're not really aware of them. And I was just thinking of that because perhaps I have some sort of thing, some sort of burden, right? Some sort of experience, maybe good, maybe bad, right? Some sort of experience from childhood that I don't know of, right? But that's still influencing me. And I think the first step for me, the first thing I wanted to do, the first step that I kind of took was to really reflect on how my life is going. Not just how my life is going, but how I feel about how my life is going. Just to be, to almost observe my own thoughts, my own patterns of behavior. Kind of a weird activity to do. It's like people watching, except you're watching yourself. That's very strange. It's very, very strange. But um, once I kind of started meditating, and also doing a lot of reflection and introspection, I've come to realize I have some good habits. Well, I have some beneficial habits, but I also had some negative habits too. One big one, very big one for me is that I tend to ruminate, or I used to ruminate, or overthink things a lot. So I would think, and then I would think about thinking, and then I would think about thinking about thinking, right? So it would just be a never-ending cycle, right? It would be like trying to defend my own ego, right? Trying to deny things. And while it made sense, right? It made sense why I did that, but I guess kind of becoming older now, perhaps I've it's come to understand that it's okay. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel that way. What's more under our control, I really shouldn't be worrying about things that I can't control. Right? Emotions come and go. Thoughts come and go. I don't really control my thoughts or my emotions. But what I do control is the way I react towards them. So I can try to deny them, right? Or I can try to accept them. And by acceptance, right, I don't mean, right, it doesn't mean necessarily acting out, right? If you feel mad, it's not yelling and screaming, right? Not necessarily, right? But acceptance just means just accepting, right? There was I forget the quote, but there was a really good quote about uh, depression, for example, where where there was a good kind of like a perspective shift on depression, right? Depression, or I might get the quote wrong. Sorry if I do. If you do know the quote, please let me know. But I think it's something like your feelings, right? Feeling depressed, right? You feel depressed. That's true, right? But that's not reality, right? depression, um, so the feelings of being depressed, right? They're true. Right? You have feelings of being depressed, right? But those feelings of depression aren't necessarily based in reality, right? Necessarily, right? That's not to say there isn't a cause for it, but just like Epictetus said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. I've come to kind of realize, and I still have a long way to go. It's only just the beginnings. A lot of people have said it a lot of different ways, but the idea is your mind can be a prison, right? Your mind can be a cage you trap yourself in, right? The identities you create, right? The attachments you create, the ego that you create, right? They can be traps, right? They can be your prison. Or your mind can be a sanctuary, right? Somewhere where you go for stillness, right? Peace, resilience, right? Your mind can be the greatest power within you, right? The mind is both a prison and a sanctuary. So it's very powerful. The mind is very powerful. Very, very powerful. And the first step, right? First step comes with awareness, right? Being aware of your thought patterns, right? What you say to yourself every day, how you interact with the world, how you feel, right? How you react to those feelings. Easier said than done. Just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. Simple doesn't mean it's easy. But yeah, this was the message that I wanted to talk about today, about how we, right, shape the lives, how we shape the stories of our lives. Right? Our life is one big story. We are the authors, we are the actors, we are the readers of this story we call life. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it doesn't mean it's hard either. And I hope you, my dear fellow storytellers, I hope you can find, can write, can create a wonderful story for yourself and for others too.